Sam Altman's The Intelligence Age really has us thinking, are we really on the edge of a revolution in intelligence itself?
It's a question worth asking, and coming from the man at the forefront of AI, oh, it's definitely worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. And that's what we're diving into today, his insights from September 23rd, 2024, to understand why he's making such a bold claim.
Yep, certainly a bold vision. And you know what's really striking is how Altman grounds this really futuristic concept in something so tangible, the transformation of sand into the computer chips, powering our world.
It's such a clever way to connect with the listener, isn't it? Like the device you're listening to right now is a testament to this whole journey from just raw material to this incredible processing power. But then Altman takes this leap, talking about superintelligence emerging in a few thousand days.
Right.
That feels almost too fast.
It's definitely a timescale that makes you raise an eyebrow. But to understand why Altman might be onto something, we need to kind of delve into the heart of what's driving this acceleration. Deep learning. And it's not just about computers getting faster at crunching numbers. It's fundamentally different.
Okay, so walk us through this. What makes deep learning so groundbreaking?
Okay, so imagine a system that learns like we do, like the human brain, but at an accelerated pace.
Okay.
Think about something like predicting traffic patterns, not just based on, historical data, but by analyzing real-time input from sensors, weather reports, social media, even pedestrian movement.
Wow.
It's about computers learning to recognize patterns and make predictions from these incredibly complex data sets with an accuracy that surpasses anything we've seen before.
So the more data you feed it, the smarter it becomes? It's almost as if it's unlocking a new level of understanding.
And this is where the concept of superintelligence comes in. Altman is suggesting that these deep learning systems, fueled by massive data sets and increasingly powerful computers, will eventually surpass human capabilities.
Yeah.
Not just in specific tasks, but in a more generalized, adaptable way.
Okay, so not just better at math, but better at everything.
Potentially.
That's both exhilarating and a little unsettling, right? I mean, we're talking about AI that can potentially outperform us in, well, potentially anything.
That's the crux of it, isn't it?
It's a future that definitely evokes a lot of questions and, to be honest, a bit of apprehension. But, Altman doesn't linger in the unsettling for too long. He moves on to paint this incredibly optimistic picture of what this intelligence age could look like.
Right.
Talking about personal AI teams, a revolution in healthcare and software being created almost instantly. I mean, this isn't just about faster phones or smarter gadgets. It's about, reshaping what's possible for humanity.
Yeah. And what I find so fascinating is how Altman links this huge technological leap to a potential societal shift.
Okay.
He sees AI as a force for good, for widespread abundance. He's envisioning a world where everyone, regardless of background, has access to, personalized education that adapts to their learning style.
Right.
Or healthcare that's not just reactive, but predictive and tailored to their needs.
That's a future that I think resonates with a lot of people. It's kind of what we all hope for, right? But is it overly optimistic? I mean, haven't we been promised this future of shared prosperity through technology before, and it hasn't always panned out?
Yeah, you're right to point that out. It's not a given.
Huh.
And Altman acknowledges this. He argues that for this utopian vision to become a reality, we really need to address this critical factor. Access computing power, and by extension, energy needs to be abundant and affordable for everyone. If we don't solve that, AI could actually exacerbate existing inequalities,
Right.
becoming a tool for the privileged few instead of a force for collective progress.
So the technology itself isn't enough.
Exactly.
We need to think about the social and economic structures that will either support or hinder its, equitable distribution.
Precisely. Altman draws a really compelling parallel to previous technological revolutions.
Okay.
Think about it. The agricultural age wouldn't have flourished without irrigation systems. The industrial age relied on factories and railroads. Similarly, AI is poised to be the defining infrastructure of the 21st century.
Wow.
The question is, how do we build it in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few?
It's a lot to unpack, this idea that we're not just, witnessing the rise of some new tech, but maybe laying the groundwork for like a whole new era of human civilization.
It's huge.
But if AI really is this infrastructure of the future, like, as Altman suggests, then understanding it isn't just some intellectual exercise. It's about agency, right? Like, what do we do with this information? How do we navigate this transition into an age of intelligence?
Well, the good news is Altman doesn't just leave us pondering the possibilities. He offers a call to action.
Okay, good.
He argues, well, we need to start actively shaping this future now to make sure that, AI's benefits are really maximized and the risks are minimized.
Right.
And a key part of that, he says, involves rethinking our relationship with work itself.
Okay, that's interesting. Particularly because I think when people think about AI, one of the first things that comes to mind is this fear of job displacement.
Right, understandably so.
Yeah.
But Altman's perspective is a bit more nuanced, I think.
Hmm.
He argues that instead of viewing AI as this threat to human labor, we should see it as an opportunity to kind of reevaluate what work means in the first place.
Okay.
Like, what if AI could take over the repetitive, mundane tasks that dominate so many jobs right now? Think date entry scheduling, even some aspects of coding.
Yeah, totally.
And this isn't just about efficiency either. It's about freeing up human potential to really focus on the things that require our unique capabilities.
Hmm.
Things like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, building relationships.
So it's not about competing with AI, but about focusing on the skills and qualities that make us distinctly human. Okay, I like that. It's a compelling argument, but it still feels like a big leap. How do we even begin to prepare for this future? I mean, we're talking about jobs that don't even exist yet.
Right. Well, Altman uses this really powerful analogy. He talks about the lamplighters of the past.
Okay.
Think about it. A couple of centuries ago, could anyone have imagined a world illuminated by electricity? I mean, the very concept of a lamplighter would seem absurd to us today.
Right. We wouldn't even understand it.
Exactly. And in the same way, we might not even be able to fathom the jobs and opportunities that will emerge in this intelligence age.
It's like me trying to explain the internet to, someone living in the 1800s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The framework for understanding just wouldn't be there. But the key takeaway here is this. Just like those who came before us adapted to these unimaginable technological shifts, we too can navigate this transition. It requires embracing lifelong learning, cultivating adaptability, and focusing on those inherently human skills that will always be valuable no matter how advanced technology becomes.
So rather than fearing the unknown, we should approach it with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to adapt. It's a message that's both empowering and a bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The future may be uncertain, but if there's one thing that's clear from Altman's vision, it's that it will be anything but boring. And ultimately, how we navigate this transition, how we choose to shape this intelligence age, well, it's up to us.
And that's where our deep dive ends for today. We journeyed from the transformation of sand into computer chips to the potential for AI to, reshape not just our economy, but the very fabric of human work and potential. It's a lot to consider, but we hope this conversation has given you some food for thought as we stand at the cusp of this, exciting and maybe even a little bit magical intelligence age. If you're as intrigued by these big ideas as we are, don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more thought-provoking explorations delivered right to your feed.